Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air.
How are you?
Hi.
You coach me about getting a decision about divorce.
What are you thinking? What is your situation? Tell me about it.
We are 10 years that we are married, 7-year-old.
You have a 7-year-old and you've been married for 10 years, yes?
Yeah, I
And
love
now you're
him.
contemplating divorce.
I love him, but he has problems just because he has depression and he gets medication for heart diseases. He can't do sex. He doesn't have attraction to
I got it. Do you have a son or a daughter?
son.
And how's his relationship with his father?
He's a good father.
Yeah, so here's a man that's a good father. You said he's depressed
Yeah.
and he has to take medication.
Yes.
And so that affects him sexually so that he's not motivated to have sex. And you think you should divorce him?
I love him. You think it is healthy for me if I stay in this relationship, although there's not any sexual relationship or any emotional relationship?
I understand that you can have a problem with this, but when you marry someone and you have a child, and the child has a relationship with, in your own words, a good father, your life, ma'am, is not about you anymore. Your life is about that child growing up with a father he loves, who's a good father. As a wife, your concern ought to be about how can I help this man, but instead your concern is about how can you help yourself and abandon this man. This
Yeah.
man needs some love and compassion and some help, obviously. If he's depressed about something, he needs to get some help, and I don't think that it's medical help. Personally, I'm always against taking medicine unless you're about to die and it's going to keep you alive. But if you don't feel good, then deal with what, especially if it's a psychological issue, then there's something that's at the source of that. And if you were able to diffuse that or be with that in a way that it would empower you, then you wouldn't be depressed anymore. You would just be a powerful person that had a bad experience. But very often people have bad experiences. Maybe they had a whole bunch of bad experiences, one right after the other, and they got traumatized and had horrible things happen to them. And so it's kind of a natural reaction to feel depressed about that, right?
Yes.
You know, we go to a doctor, say, help me, and the doctor says, here, just take these pills and you're going to feel better. But you haven't handled what hurt you in the first place. You see what I'm saying? It's like there's a fire going on in your house and there's smoke detectors going off, and the fire department comes out and turns off the smoke detectors and goes, there you go, all better now, right? And leaves the house to burn down, because it will. Medicine is nothing more than a temporary fix for something that, you can't handle. You're not supposed to take medicine for your whole life. I'm not saying if he has a heart condition, he shouldn't take heart medicine. I mean...
No, he's taking right now. The side effects of those medications.
I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving you medical advice. I am telling you, however, that if you have a mental or psychological experience that we call depression, and who calls it depression? I'm going to tell you who calls it depression. Medical doctors, so they can sell medicine. Okay, if you ask me, I'd say, okay, let's handle some unfinished business in your past and get it complete so that you can move on. Listen, I've had virtually every symptom that you can read about that they call depression. I've personally had it, and I'm sure you have too. You don't go through life without having some bad experiences and having a negative reaction to it, which is normal. It's normal to have a negative reaction to bad experiences. What's not normal is to let those experiences stop you in your tracks so that you can't move forward. I'll say it's common, but I don't think it's normal. I wouldn't call it handling life in a healthy way. If you twist your ankle, it hurts to walk on it, right? And that's a bad experience. And it hurts for a long time sometimes, right? So I'm not suggesting that you just keep on walking, but on the other hand, it would be even more absurd to walk on crutches for the rest of your life until your legs were so weak that you couldn't walk on them if you had to. You see what I'm saying? What's normal is to heal the sprained ankle, to deal with the whatever happened so that, the negative experience that happened that caused you to get an injury in the first place, and then keep walking. But that's all normal. That's handling life in a normal, healthy fashion and getting stronger from your injuries instead of weaker.
It means, is it healthy for me to be in a relationship that there's no any...
What's healthy is to get your attention off of yourself and onto the people who you said you would love for better or worse. Did you get married?
Yes.
What kind of ceremony did you have? Because most ceremonies include the words that you will love this person and cherish them and honor them and take care of them in the good times and the bad times. Did your marriage ceremony say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine did. That means you're either going to honor that or you're going to throw those words away and go try to find somebody else that has less problems and leave your poor husband and your son to figure out their life, because your life's more important. Take a seminar, get psychological help, do a workshop, insist that your husband go with you. In other words, do something. Here's the description of depression, and I'm going to give you the description of what makes life happy and successful. And I gave you a hint of it in the very beginning of the show. I said you have a feeling, then you have a thought, then you take actions. The actions are the connection between the inside world. Feelings and thoughts are inside. You can't see them. They're the inner world. Words and actions are where you take those thoughts and feelings and you express them out in the world. Some of the things you do that don't have words, and some things have words and not actions, but speaking is an action. You can say and do things in your own life that come from your heart, that come from who you are, that make a difference in another person's life. And I'm sure that that's true for your husband and especially for your son. What you say and what you do is very important to them. And so I'm not suggesting you sit around and get depressed too and lament the fact that you don't have a fulfilling sex life. And I'm not saying that you should not have sex anymore either, but you've got to figure a way to work that out. But how that's going to get resolved is through communication. Heartfelt, authentic communication. My love, I love you so much. It would feel so much better. I would be so much happier as a woman if we could, whatever, right? But by communicating and by giving something of yourself as well. It means digging down inside yourself. And listen, the challenges in life, that's what they're about. They're so that you look inside yourself and pull out what's already there and share it, so that your world becomes better, other people's worlds become better. That's what the word educate means, to pull out knowledge from within. That's what the word education means, educate. So educate yourself and educate your husband and your son and show them how a great, awesome, honorable, wonderful woman takes care of a bad situation. Otherwise, you're going to teach them how a coward runs away when things get bad. And that's what they'll be left with. And they'll be right.
The medication that he gets, the side effect is that the sexual drive is very low.
Impotence. I understand. That's why you should stop taking it.
Yeah, he told me today that you're so young. I suggest that leave me and go and get married again. He told
That's
me.
the depression talking. The normal action for making life move forward is feel, think, act. Feel, think, act. Feel, think, act. That's what makes the wheel go around, okay? That's what makes life move forward. I feel, I think, I act. I feel, I think, I act. Here's depression. Feel, think, feel, think, feel, think, feel, think, feel, think. Do that longer. If I did that for another 30 seconds, you would all go to sleep. Your eyes would start to get heavy. Your heart would get heavy. You would wonder, when can I end this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what depression is. Depression is like, how do I get out of this? All I could do is feel and think. I'm going to tell you how you get out of it. Go do something. Action. Feel, think, act. Remember, feel, think, act. Even if the action doesn't work, just keep acting, keep doing until something hooks, and then you begin to pull yourself up out of the hole. What are you going to do about it? Because I'm going to relate to you as being the more skilled at relationship one. Your husband's depressed. Maybe he's depressed from being around you. Are you a real joy to be around? Help him get back to those places where he needs to be, okay?
So what can I do with when I need, for example,
I understand your question.
What can I do that?
There's lots of, you don't need me to tell you on national television how to do that. Take care of yourself sexually. Sometimes you might need to take care of yourself sexually. Sometimes you need to take care of somebody else sexually. But in this situation, until you can help him feel like it, I trust that as a woman, you have lots of tools at your disposal for helping a man get interested in sex. Did this help you?
Yeah, it helps me a lot. Thank you.
Let me know how it turns out. Thank you for calling. Thanks for your trust.
Bye.
Good day. Hello, this is Gregory, and you're live on the air.
Hi, Mr. Morgan. Thank you so much for your great show. I hope you have it more often.
Well, thank you, and thanks for calling.
I've been dating a guy for about 3 months. The only problem that we're having right now is money, and we had a few moments of hard feeling about money in the past. We talked about it, and his mentality is like, if we are dating and if we are more or less making the same money, we should be paying for everything 50-50. And my mentality and my background is that a guy should take care of me no matter how much money I make or how much money he makes. He calculates every little thing, and it just makes me uncomfortable. He brought up a point that, he wants to go to vacations with me, and he thinks that we should split up some of the costs.
I got it. You have every right to feel that you would like to be taken care of and cherished, and that money is not going to be an issue. However, expectation, it's like weed killer on roses. When you expect something from somebody you say you love, it kills off love. Expectation is toxic to love.
Yes.
Your expectations are your expectations, and they have nothing to do with your love for this person.
True.
And if you keep expressing your expectations, it will kill the love. It's like for sure toxic. So I think that people ought to keep their expectations to themselves and share what would make them feel better, what would make them happier. If you're a woman, please tell a man how you feel. Tell him what you don't want. If you tell him what you want, that's like giving a man a command. That's like, this is what I want. That's woman talk for do this. I want this means do this, right? So that's like being his mother and telling him what to do. Don't do that. Tell him, I would feel so much better. I would feel so much love. I would so appreciate it if, right? XYZ. Or, I really don't want. You can tell him what you don't want. I really don't want to do this, or I wouldn't feel comfortable doing this. And then an honorable, mature man will naturally want you to feel better and take actions to make you feel better. Now, you have grown up in a different model than him, and apparently you've grown up in a model of abundance and prosperity. Does he have money?
Well, yes.
Okay, so he can afford to take you out.
Yes.
Without hardship. If he has money and he's just still insisting on this model, he's operating out of a scarcity model. There's not enough resources, there's not enough money, there's not enough, and so I better hoard it or keep it back and not share it too much. That's something that, he could get resolved in one of our workshops, and you would get resolved how to relate to a man so that he feels empowered. He doesn't feel, disempowered, but you communicate clearly in a way that he wants to take care of you rather than telling him, I expect you to take care of me. Because I expect you to take care of me will not work out well, and I would feel so much better if I knew that you wanted to take care of me. Engenders a masculine feeling of I want to protect you and take care of you.
But if I communicate it in that way, and he still is on the mindset that we should both contribute to it financially, then
just say I don't feel comfortable with that. That's not how I grew up, and maybe listen, I don't have any expectations of you. However, this is what would make me feel better, and now when we go out, I feel uncomfortable because even though I could easily afford to take you out, and would gladly do it because it's not a financial issue for me, you somehow don't feel the same way about me, and that makes me feel uncomfortable. I think men should give more than women, and about every fourth or fifth time, the woman should say, hey, it's my treat tonight. I think men should, show that they are capable of providing and protecting for a woman, because if it went into the place where you were pregnant and had to take care of a child, 100% of your energy is going to be over there taking care of that kid, and he's going to have to. So if he's not willing to now, when you're just dating and it's just coffee and dessert, it does not bode well for the future. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your call. Thank you. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I hope you are doing well too.
I am.
My question is about my OCD. I went to a psychologist 6 years ago, and he said that I have OCD. He was a psychologist, and he gave me pills. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, my whole life changed. It was like that I became a new person. So
for 2 or 3 weeks, your life changed for the better?
Yes, much more better, because I was in a very bad anxiety stress, OCD, thoughts, a lot of things.
Okay, so when you took the pills, did the reason for your anxiety go away?
Actually, pills did something chemically in my body. I was not responding to those anxieties, but I don't think it's my problem.
No, of course not. It's like the engine light in your car. Most cars have little red lights that go off if there's something wrong with the car to tell you that you should take it to the mechanic. Anxiety is a signal from your subconscious mind that there's something either happening or about to happen that you're not prepared for, and you don't have the wherewithal to deal with it. You don't know how to handle it. It causes an anxious feeling, which is a healthy feeling, to get you moving so that you do something about it, getting ready to deal with this. Fear is a positive thing. It tells you you're not ready. You better get ready. There's what I call natural fear. If you're walking close to the edge of a cliff, it's natural to feel afraid of that. But anxiety is compelling you to take some kind of action to get ready for something. Now, if you just take a pill and you no longer feel the anxiety, there will be a lot of other things that you don't feel either.
I became like a robot. For
That's
example, I don't care about feelings that people do.
You don't feel the same happiness. You don't feel sadness. You don't feel joy. You don't feel certain levels of love and warmth and togetherness, because it's like there's one valve for all the emotions. When that valve is shut down, all the other emotions are shut down too. You can't just isolate one emotion and say, I don't want to feel that one, but I want to feel everything else.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that.
For example, don't get so emotional. Exactly like a robot.
So you said for 3 weeks I felt okay. It changed my life because you didn't feel the anxiety, and then you began to notice that you didn't feel other things too. Are you still taking the medication?
Actually, I continued taking medications for 5 years.
Okay.
Then I stopped with the pills after 5 years, and it was exactly like everything came back again.
All the anxiety came back?
Everything. It was exactly at the same time that 5 years ago. It was exactly the same feeling.
Okay, so where are we going with this? Because I sense that there's a question, but I am not able to hear.
Exactly. I went to the psychiatrist, and the doctor said that no one can be completely okay. Never. And many people have these thoughts, but they don't tell you, like you don't tell anyone.
All right. I think he gave you some good advice there. I happen to agree with him. Nobody's completely okay. Everybody's got some anxiety. Everybody's got difficult feelings.
Right.
Everybody's got something that they have to manage. Part of being an adult, part of being a functional human being in the world is being able to have uncomfortable feelings and still be okay with yourself, still deal with the world. Wanting to escape every uncomfortable feeling, if your life is about being comfortable, then I promise you, you are going to have a very uncomfortable life. Now, if your life is about making a difference for other people, being everything that you could possibly be, mentally, physically, being in your best physical shape, your best mental shape, your best emotional shape, your best financial shape, in other words, being great at being you, if that's what your life is about, then you will have a very uncomfortable life. Either way, life is uncomfortable. So you should just choose whether you want to go out and make a difference with your life and share yourself, and recognizing that, hey, it's uncomfortable. My point is, you're never going to escape some uncomfortable feelings. You've been worried about stuff that's never going to happen.
So how can they bother me?
Well, because you let it. Every time I get in my car, I'm not worried about somebody running into me with a bus. Every time I cross the street, I'm not worried that I'm going to get run over by a car. I just look to see if there's any cars coming.
Yes, I do.
But an OCD, or whatever it is that you want to call yourself, that you've learned to identify with, this has become an identity for you. You relate to this identity. It's almost like a badge of honor. I'm OCD, and you're worried about stuff that's never happening. And if it did happen, there's nothing you can do about it anyhow. Something got repeated again and again that you had absolutely no control over. It's not your fault, and you didn't know when it was going to happen again, and it did. And it threw your system into a state of shock so that your brain would keep functioning, and your heart would keep functioning, and your lungs would keep breathing. It was a biological response, and at that time, all the copper in your system peaked to give your brain extra energy to deal with an emergency situation, and neurosynapses were developed. Neural syntax were developed all over your brain and your neurological system, like that. and you found that that helped you survive. And so now every time anything that it remotely resembles that situation comes up, you have that same response over and over and over and over and over and over. And the only way to kill that response up until now has been to take this medication, which deadened the response so that the button doesn't work so good anymore.
Well, I wanted to go to a psychic person that maybe that person can give me some advices regarding to supernatural things. I was thinking, because the psychiatrist said she's not believing these things, but I do believe in that, but I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something.
Exactly.
I believe in things that we can't see too. What we see is a tiny, tiny bit of what's going on around us all the time. I also know from my experience that when I'm grounded in the physical world, meaning I'm fully present, that I'm 1,000 times more powerful than any of that stuff. It can't touch me. I'm too strong because I'm here, and it's not. Whatever spiritual thing that you think that you're seeing and experiencing, you're far more powerful than it is. Way more powerful.
How could it first time bothered me?
It bothers you because you let it. You leave the door open to it. You entertain it, even by talking about it.
Okay.
You talk about it, you worry about it, you think about it, you imagine it, instead of going, back off.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay?
Now I get the point. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Are there entities there that may or may not impinge upon your everyday consciousness? Tell them to back off. You got better things to do. And then do something that gets you grounded in the physical world. That's why things like yoga, dance, martial arts, going to the gym, all of those things are very good for you because they give you a physical presence in the world. You're probably what they would call a sensitive. You're sensitive to things. You feel things that other people don't feel.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel things that other people don't feel too, but what makes me powerful is that I'm very grounded in the physical world. I'm suggesting you do something like hard work. Do something that makes you sweat. Do something that makes your muscles hurt so that you get physically in the world. Do you understand?
Exactly. Put my feet on the ground.
You're not grounded. Yeah, you need to have a strong root like a tree and hangs on, and then when some metaphysical feeling, energy, being, thought form comes around you, it just doesn't stand a chance. There's no opening for that. You decide from your strong physical, psychological, emotional, powerful self-construction, you decide what you will entertain or not. And when you will only entertain, when you will only allow to influence you positive, beautiful, powerful energy, God-like energy, something that is inspiring, something that moves you to tears and makes your heart feel love, when you will only listen to that, then all others will go away and only that will come to you. I had to choose a long time ago that I'm going to only listen to that which is powerful, which is noble, which is honorable, which makes me feel love. I can hardly talk about it without crying because it's so powerful. It deeply moves me. It is my life source itself, and I will only listen to that.
Yes,
and when you will only listen to that, then it will fill you up, and nothing stands a chance.
Yes,
it's like trying to shine a candle
now.
on the sun. You can't touch it, okay?
Okay, yes, I got the point. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks for your call. Thanks for your trust.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
A man of character, responsibility, and resourcefulness. Become that man and join us on the journey towards manhood, finding a better person within. Embrace Growth is offering the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery Workshop in Toronto, Yerevan, and Los Angeles. Sign up today at embracegrowth.com and see the transformation in your life.
برنامه دنیای عشق با دکتر آزیتا سایان، برنامه‌ای که تمامی سوالهای شما را جواب می‌دهد. ازدواج، عشق، سکس، همجنسگرایی، فرزندان، والدین، خیانت. از یوتیوب لایو استریم، فیسبوک و اینستاگرام لایو. سه‌شنبه ها و پنجشنبه ها 10 شب به وقت ایران و 10:30 صبح به وقت لس آنجلس. تلفن تماس با استودیو 818 532 6655.
if you want to have your transformation, not just survive the onslaught of the everyday negativity and deadness of everyday life, and to nourish others and make a difference in the world so that where you are, then if you would like that for your life, then what there is to do is to share your transformation, to share your insights, to share your growth and development. If you want to become more than you ever dreamed that you could be as a human being, then what there is to do is to be someone who is a source of transformation for others. That's why we established Embrace Growth, for people to experience who they really are through seminars and workshops and private sessions. We have continued to generate products, services you could have access to, resources that would give you the ability to transform your own life. I can't transform your life. Nobody can transform your life but you. In fact, transformation is always instantly available, and people spend lifetimes trying to find what was always already there. The purpose of Embrace Growth, and even the title Embrace Growth, is about embrace the challenges that you have in your life, because they're just challenges. You know, you call them issues, or you call them addictions, or you call them disorders. That's a favorite word for the pharmacists, people who like to sell pharmaceuticals to people who are convinced that they are helpless victims in life, like to call whatever's going on with you a disorder. Once they can label it a disorder, now we have a thing outside yourself that you're not responsible for, in fact you're a victim of, that we can now treat with medication at a large profit. We can treat these things because they're disorders. So you go around wearing this badge of disorder, like, you know, see, I'm malfunctioned, I am a broken person, and here's my little broken person badge, and so could I please have some pharmaceuticals to treat that malfunction. You know, listen, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to tell you don't take your meds. I'm trying to tell you that there are other paths, and that maybe what you're calling a disorder is a self-imposed limitation, or a limitation that you have accepted that was imposed upon you by others, and that by, instead of treating that like a disorder, instead of searching for an answer outside yourself, instead of blaming others or the situation or the government or the circumstances of your life for pain that you're experiencing, we're suggesting that you actually move into that pain, that you actually embrace those things that you fear the most, and that you live your life like a warrior. You live your life like somebody who has the courage and the fortitude and the backbone and the intelligence to face those things which have been limiting you, to challenge them, and to actually do the hard work, because it's not easy. I'm not ever going to tell you that transformation is easy. I'm going to tell you it's instant. I'm going to tell you it's always available, and it's been there all along. If it was easy, we wouldn't call it a workshop. We'd call it a play shop. We'd call it a retreat. Retreats are easy, right? Because you are retreating from life. We move forward into life, and it's work. So we call it a workshop. And so that's why we've developed these workshops, so that you could do the hard work in a very short span of time, actually. You know, it may seem like when you're in the middle of the last day of a 3-day workshop in which you've intensely looked at your life for a protracted period of time, it may seem like that's a long time. Actually, when you look back on it, it was a small bump in the road compared to the 20 or 30 or 40 year arc of personal development that you may never have had. Many people go to their grave with the issues that they've been carrying since childhood. And before they're done, before they leave, they impose those issues on everybody else. They make everybody around them pay. They make everybody around them suffer the consequences of their limitations that they accepted as being limitations for their entire life. I'm pointing at, hey, wait a minute, how about if you had the courage and the insight and the fortitude to actually face those things in an environment that we promise you. You know, I think if anything, Embrace Growth offers a safe environment, as safe as you're ever going to find, environment for you to explore, uncover, look deeply, experience deeply, and hey, we're pretty good at it. We've been doing it for a while, and we have had a very large level of success versus failure when it comes to, I mean, it's predictable and almost certain that when somebody goes into one of our workshops that they're going to come out the other side renewed, rejuvenated, and redesigned human being with the ability to face challenges. And some of the challenges that you've been carrying around all your life, you leave them in the workshop forever and they just never come back. And I can say that with absolute confidence because I've seen it thousands and thousands of times now with thousands of individuals who have many times reluctantly gone into the workshops and come out the other side totally a different person, an improved person, not just different. Well over 90% of all of the people that ever come to an Embrace Growth workshop or private session or event, when we ask them, what brought you here? How did you know about it? It has come from our previous clients. I can tell you with confidence that over 90% of them say friends, families, my best friend or somebody in my family told me about it and was so enthusiastic that they insisted that I come and do this. I think that's a pretty good track record. How I know that it's working is that everybody tells their friends and families to go do it. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air.
My son was come out of a long-term relation and straight away few girls came approached from all over the place. He decided he liked the one from back home, Iran.
Okay.
Everyone thinks it's wrong because the culture different. He's very worried that it may not work.
Now, how old is he?
He's about 33.
Could anybody tell you what to do when you were 33?
No.
Nah, me neither. Did he grow up here?
Yes.
But he speaks Farsi, and has he ever known Iran?
Oh, yeah, he travels all the time.
Okay, so he knows Iran, he knows the culture, but he's a westernized man. It's hard to influence somebody if their decision making is hormonally driven. Logic never can convince a heart, but hormones can, right?
That's exactly what...
Hormones can convince your heart that you are in love.
Yes, and that's what we're worried about. Maybe when that thing wears out.
And it always does.
Yes.
Even if he was completely in love and it was real love, the hormones do wear out.
He could do better.
Are you in a position to ask him to give it a 6-month try?
I did that, and he says, Dad, I want to get on with life.
You know, like I said, logic can't convince a heart.
Yep.
So even if I gave you all the statistics or gave him all the statistics, that would just be logic. That'd be going in one side of the brain, but what's really active is the other side of the brain where all the emotions are. He's seeing colors. You know, the statistics of a marriage working when both people are from the same culture and the same religion, and both people are more than 27 years old, and both people have some college education, that is the highest likelihood of a long-term relationship statistically. That has the highest percentage rate of staying together. Now, you want to know what that percentage rate is? About 30%.
Oh, is that?
You know, that's really high, right?
Yes.
All the other demographics that you can talk of, a large disparity in age or education or culture, all of those things drop the percentage rate exponentially. So the other 20% of all failed marriages are coming from the people who didn't have a chance in the first place. Statistically was unlikely. If there's a certain kind of statistical likelihood of a marriage working, you might want to find out what that is. This is one of the ones that has a very high percentage rate of failing.
I just decide your wife and yourself tell me as his life, you know, is grown up and that you can't decide for him.
Talk to him man to man. Say, look, you're a full-grown man. You're fully responsible for your life. I respect you as an equal man to me. Now, there's some things that I've experienced that you haven't, and I'd like to share some of my experience with you.
Yes.
And whatever choice you make, I'm going to respect you as a man. I'm speaking to you as an equal.
Right.
So you create a context for a conversation of two equals speaking together. You have to create a context if it's your son. Like, I just want to tell you what I think. Here's what I've observed. Here's what I know. I'm going to respect whatever you choose, and I'm going to make a recommendation based on my knowledge and experience, and you're going to do whatever you're going to do, and I'll respect it. And ask him, if you saw me making a mistake, I would hope that you would speak up to me.
You know what he told me, Gregory? He says, Dad, could you parents stop controlling me. If I make a mistake, let me learn it and not control me all the time. Maybe he's right. He says, I feel like you're controlling my life. And he's tired of that. He says, stop controlling me.
Well, that is an appropriate thing for a 33-year-old to say. When I talk to you, I don't hear a guy trying to control his son. I hear a concerned father. If his experience is that he feels like he's being controlled and he has enough respect to say it, hey, Dad, quit controlling me, then I respect that. I agree with him. He has a right to totally screw his life up any way he wants or to be successful at it.
But it's hard for us to see it's happening.
Yeah, but that's your lesson as an adult now. People think that because they have kids and the kids are successful adults, that their lessons in life are over. But for you, no, they're just beginning. Yeah. Wait till they have kids. The most important part, I think, of being a man is to know what you stand for and to know what your terms are. In other words, what defines you as a man, and to be able to stand up to anybody about that.
With your parents? Or
your parents, your wife, your kids, anybody that challenges who you really are at your core, you ought to stand up to him. Only he can determine what he stands for. If he says, look, okay, I got it, and you think it's risky and that I might be making a mistake, thank you very much, father and mother, for your valuable information, which I didn't ask for. I think you shouldn't give advice to people that don't ask for it. And if they want your advice, they should ask for it.
So you're telling me basically that let the guy, wrong or right, he's decided, as he said himself, stop controlling me. It's grown-up man,
I think you should respect that. You're a full-grown man. I'm going to love you either way. I'm always going to be there for you. And if you ever need my advice, please ask me. But I'm not going to give you advice you didn't ask for. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Your relationship with him is your primary concern. He's your son. Now he's a man. His relationship with anyone else is none of your business.
Understand.
You may be concerned about it, but out of respect, just like if it was any other man that you know in your circle of friends, if you really respect your son, you elevate him to become an equal in your own mind and in your heart, and you would treat him like an equal. You have every right to screw your life up any way you want. I love you. I hope you don't. If you need my advice, just ask.
What about financially? Can I support him financially? Or
if he asks you to.
Yeah.
Okay, then don't offer.
I got it. Thank you so much, Gregory.
All right.
Really
thanks.
appreciate it.
You bet. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air.
What is different between threatening or giving advice?
Well, a threat implies an unpleasant and unwanted consequence. In other words, a threat is like, okay, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to make things very unpleasant for you. A warning might be, oh, the pool over there is deeper than it is over here. Watch out.
Right.
Right? That's a warning. You're like telling somebody something they might not know, so you're warning them. And you may be also, if it's about your boundaries, in other words, if you have boundaries that are being impeached upon, in other words, a warning could be, this is my house and my door, and if you come in my door and force your way in, there's going to be severe consequences. I'm warning you so you don't get hurt whenever you break that boundary. Don't cross this boundary, or I will impose a very severe consequence.
So I was married to a man that he was continuously doing something, and he was trying to hide his financial all the time.
Right.
He was calling me name, and I keep telling him, look, you are my husband, and I have 2 children from you, and I want you to behave a little bit better. I know how to hurt you, but I don't want to hurt you because you are the father for my children.
Okay.
And I want my children to have healthy father.
Right.
Don't do that. And he keeps telling me, are you threatening me? I said no.
I think the best answer, if you actually are threatening someone, if you're telling them, look, this is the consequences of if you continue that action, there's going to be these consequences.
Yeah.
See, I will hurt you, it sounds a little bit like a threat.
Yeah.
If you tell them straight out, look, this is going to be the consequence.
Yes.
You do that, I'll do this.
But I did that so many times and he never hears.
You should never impose a consequence that you're not willing to deliver immediately. Never say you're going to do something that you're not going to do immediately. because that is a threat. That's just a threat. There's a difference between a threat and a promise. The very first time he crossed the boundary that you told him not to cross, you should have imposed the most severe consequence that you already told him you were going to do. Because, see...
23 years until I did it. It was not...
23 years?
I waited for so long. Maybe he will grow up. Maybe he will understand.
Yeah, that was your mistake. You made a mistake when you told people that you were going to impose consequences, and then they crossed your boundary and you didn't impose the consequences. You just trained them that your words mean nothing and that they can do whatever they want, and you'll keep saying, making this noise called blah, 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 I'm going to hurt you, blah, 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 but you're not really going to do anything, so they can abuse you all they want and you'll never do anything about it. You need to tell me your question. Okay? If somebody's abusing you or abusing your trust or your goodwill or your gentle nature or your kindness, you have to have boundaries in your life. People who have no boundaries are an invitation to what I call social rape. Every time somebody abuses you verbally, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, that's rape. How many times do you tolerate being emotionally raped? Most of the time, people are arguing for the victim position. Especially people who ask questions, which aren't really questions. You get to be not responsible for your life. You're relieved of all responsibility for all of the things that happened in your life that you didn't like and that were uncomfortable and that limited you. Because why? Because you're a victim. How could you be responsible? Poor me. Right? They did it to me and I'm the victim. In all of those situations, there's always a victim, a bad person that victimized them, persecutor, a victim, and a hero. You know, the victim always looks for a hero to save them from the bad person, but they never want to save themselves. They want somebody else to save them from the bad person. Teachings that I teach are about you saving yourself by stopping to be a victim. Nobody's going to save you. That's the lesson. Maybe you could begin to turn things around.
I thank you so much for your time. You are great. Have a nice day.
Thank you, dear.
Bye.
I like a man who got divorced a month ago. He likes me too. He was married for 10 years. Is he ready for another relationship? He was separated on and off with his ex-wife for 2 years. The short answer to that is no, he's not ready. And yeah, you should go away from that. He's been separating from his wife on and off for 2 years. He might do that for 10 years. He might do that for 5 years. You're just seeing him in one of his off periods. Who's to say how many girls or women he has left his wife for and then gone back? So no, he's not divorced. You say he's got divorced a month ago? We'll see about that. We'll see. Is divorce been stamped final by a judge? Is he truly divorced, or did he file for divorce? In any event, anybody who's been with somebody for 10 years, that's considered a long-term relationship. If they have children together, he will be related to that woman for the rest of their life. If you get involved with that man, you will always be involved with him and her and their kids for as long as they're alive. Men don't handle divorce as well as women do, frankly, and I think that's why he keeps going back to her. So you don't know if he's going to go back to her or not, just because they're finally divorced, if they are. So I would say no. And for a man to be divorced and ready for another relationship after 10 years, I would give it at least a year or two. He shouldn't even contemplate getting married for at least a couple of years after 10 years of being married. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how many years of being young and beautiful and interesting to men that you are going to have ahead of you, but unless you're desperate and you think that you can handle getting dropped at some point in the future, I would not take that relationship seriously. My husband doesn't allow me to touch his phone. He says his privacy and his phone is personal. Should I respect that? I have nothing to hide, and his behavior is really bothering me. It really bothers me too. Because when you are married, you're basically saying, I'm going to share all of my intimacy, my time, my money, my sexuality with you and only you. I'm going to seek to become a deeper, better person, man or woman, to better provide, to better protect, to better understand who you are, who I am. In other words, I should have nothing to hide. I should openly welcome you seeing me for who I truly am, everything that I'm feeling and thinking, you should know about that. All of our finances should not be kept secret. All of our beliefs, religious or otherwise, should not be kept a secret. If you're married to someone, I feel that one should seek to be profoundly interested in being as intimate with them as possible. What do I mean by intimate? I don't just mean all the sexual stuff. I mean, can you look into each other's eyes with nothing to hide? Can you be so open and honest and have your heart so completely open and your eyes so open that it brings tears to your eyes how profoundly related you are? In your case, my friend, the answer is no. He has chosen to behave like a single man while having a wife. One expression of that is a narcissist. They want both. They want to be single and married. I want to have all the privileges of being married and have a wife, but I want my wife to be less than me so that I can have my personal freedom and privacy apart from her as a single man would. I can't blame him for wanting that. Everybody wants to have their cake and eat it too. Everybody wants to have the privileges without the costs. Marriage costs something. Intimacy costs something. Being profoundly related costs something. Now, payback, should you choose to relinquish those things, you have to let go of something in order to be profoundly related with somebody else. You have to let go of the idea. You have to willingly sacrifice or let go of the idea that your life is yours and yours alone, and that you have the right to all of your privacy, and that nobody needs to know certain things about you, and that you should have the privilege to dally in places that you would now hide from this person. No, you got to give that up. You don't get to have that and be intimately related to another human being. It costs something. In other words, to be intimately related, and your husband, if he's got something on his phone that he doesn't want you to see, he's hiding something from you. And to the precise extent that he is hiding something from you, he has gone single, if you will. He's gone from being we, us, together, to being me, alone, and you over there. There's me and not me. There's no us, there's no we, there's just me and my little private world, and you stay out. I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways. If you want to be married, you got to give it up, buddy. My wife has easy access to all of my passwords, my phone, anything that she wants to know about me. I have absolutely nothing to hide from her. And that is an agreement I have with myself, because I want intimacy. I want love. I want to be profoundly known by another human being and appreciated for who I really am. I am not ashamed of anything about myself. And I have chosen to live my life in such a way that if somebody found out anything about me, they could go say it on a loudspeaker at the airport. I don't care. I have nothing to hide. And I choose to live my life like that. Does that mean I don't want or need privacy? Of course I do. And of course there's things that I would like to just keep for me and my family, but I have nothing to hide from my wife. And I suggest that if you want to have a really great relationship, if you want to have a really loving relationship, a profound relationship where you're truly known and appreciated as a man and as a woman, that you have nothing to hide in your relationships. That's what I propose. A lot of people think that sounds crazy. It's working for me, and it's working for lots of other people that have taken our workshops that have chosen to open themselves up to their mates and have fallen profoundly in love with their wives and husbands that they were simply tolerating before, teetering on the edge of divorce, fighting all the time. Now I see those same couples, they're profoundly in love, they can't wait to be around each other. You see the glow in their eyes. People say, wow, what happened to you guys? And that's why our workshops fill up, because really, that's what happens. People stop carrying around all of this hidden agenda all the time. So the woman who wrote this, your husband's hiding something from you, and it's in his phone, and that's why he doesn't want you to see it. Tell him either open the phone up and quit hiding stuff from me, or I'm going to start hiding stuff from you. I don't know, impose some consequence. I'm going to go sleep in the other room. I'm going to go out with my girlfriends anytime I want and do whatever I want, whatever the consequence is, but you need to not threaten a consequence that you're not able to deliver.
The Embrace Growth app is finally here. You start by signing in just as you would online, and from there, you'll see all of your account settings. Once in the app, you'll have access to events and all of Embrace Growth's original content. Registering for workshops and seminars is easier than ever, and tools for managing your profile and options are built right in. Schedule private sessions and connect with the global Embrace Growth community. Download it today on the App Store. A man of character, responsibility, and resourcefulness. Become that man and join us on the journey towards manhood, finding a better person within. Embrace Growth is offering the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery workshop in Toronto, Yerevan, and Los Angeles. Sign up today at embracegrowth.com and see the transformation in your life. Embrace Growth has a new home online where you can easily register for workshops and events, order from the online store, and be part of the worldwide community of Embrace Growth graduates. You'll be able to see Dr. Rosita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan in your favorite seminars. Visit us today at embracegrowth.com.
Welcome to the all-new EmbraceGrowth.com. You'll have access to all the content you love at the click of a button. Videos of seminars, events, and the ability to sign up for workshops. Direct access to digital downloads right from your mobile devices. Stay in the know and see our latest graduate events. Watch your favorites anytime, anywhere. Visit us today at EmbraceGrowth.com.
در کارگاه‌های آموزشی بانوان به رهبری دکتر آزیتا سایان با دستیابی به اهمیت و ارزش واقعی خود، قدرت زنانگی و آرامش خود را بازیابید. محیطی مناسب و هیجان انگیز برای رشد و شکوفایی عشق، ازدواج و خانواده خلق کنید. زنی شاد باشید، قلب مردان را بشناسید و آنها را درک کنید. کارگاه آموزشی بانوان اروپا 20 تا 22 آپریل. برای ثبت نام با تخفیف ویژه پاییزی با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید.
A haven for the weary soul. A source of inspiration and community, redesigned to bring you meaningful experiences and unforgettable events. We are a worldwide community of vibrant individuals, displayed in the people who are a part of it, from many nations, backgrounds, and beliefs. Through powerful outreach programs, the struggles of everyday life are confronted and conquered, transforming those who participate into the best versions of themselves. One-on-one sessions are available to keep you headed in the right direction, coupled with the best resources to remind you how to live, whether at home or elsewhere. Programs designed for men, providing the building blocks of maturity, commitment, integrity, and leadership, paving the way for productive and fulfilling manhood. Beyond an understanding of masculine leadership is its application in daily life and development into something truly unique. Exclusive training for women, encouraging growth and empowerment through an acceptance of their true identities, redefining interactions, and changing the viewpoint through which life is seen. Embracing the woman within and accessing facets of your personality hidden beneath the surface. Showing our youth the value of integrity and reliability by creating an indwelling desire to succeed with honor, basing the future on a solid foundation of ideals that will guide them through life, leading by example, and showing others how to clearly convey their thoughts in a compelling way, creating a culture of mature leaders who can help others achieve self-confidence and their goals. Real people and real lives are changed for the better. With every event, more are touched and come to an understanding of their place in this world and their community. Embrace Growth is run by a passionate team and led by the diligence and inspiration of Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan, who consistently teach life lessons based on what works, rather than the passing fads of the times.